Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI-powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna Gaidusek. Hey designers, welcome back for episode 43 of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Gaidusek, and today I wanted to talk about what can AI not do for interior designers. So 2 episodes ago on episode 41, you guys seem to really like this one according to analytics, but it was all talking about how are designers using AI today, and gave you a few little teasers in there for some programs that I really love and recommend that are at the top of my list right now, and some that are coming that just released out of beta, so stay tuned. But today I want to talk about some misconceptions, because every single day I get a message from a designer or somebody in the industry being like, hey, I want to do this. And it's like, that's awesome. And what a time saver that would be. But that's not a thing. That doesn't exist yet. Let's give it some time. But the other thing is, let's make sure that we are being careful what we ask for when it comes to technology. And the reason for that is I see a lot of technology out there that would be so incredibly beneficial to professionals, but they have chosen to market it for the masses, for homeowners everywhere, and go with retail and, because it's big, people know those brands, and tech companies just want to make money. They don't care about disrupting industries in a negative way. They don't care about designers. They don't I hate to say that, but if they didn't start out with the intention to make a software that is for professionals, then they had no intention of keeping the industry intact and creating software with integrity. And that is just maybe my personal opinion, but I've seen it too many times where it's like, man, we could use that, but not for retail sources, just, for our trade vendors that are so antiquated in so many ways, where if we could just grab their information and use it in the way that some of these apps that are, homeowner and consumer facing do, then we could be so much better at our jobs and so much more efficient at what we already do with our existing creativity and knowledge and just know-how as professionals. But that's not going to make these tech companies money. So let's talk about what some of the tools are right now, what some of the big misconceptions are according to ChatGPT, when I just told ChatGPT to ask, but they're all they're legit. They're things that I hear every day or see every day in these groups. But I have to take a step back and just kind of give you a little backstory as to why some of these things concern me that I'm seeing, professionals asking in Facebook groups, for technology and for things. Because like I said, be careful what you ask for. Okay. If it can be made, they will make it, and they will not make it for you. So that is the scary part. And that's why as I go through and I read a lot of these tools out, I'm like, who has the intention of the professional in mind, and who is here to make money as a developer? And I get it. People want to obviously make money. And if your set of skills is to develop, and you're not from this industry, then yeah, it's low hanging fruit. It's a huge industry. Why would you not? But then you don't think about us. You don't think about the designers on the day to day. There's enough jobs being removed in this country right now. We don't need to also remove ours with technology. So let's take a step back and kind of talk about why that concerns me. If you have listened to the first episode or know anything, have maybe been around for a few years now, I started a community called eDesign Tribe back in 2018 after practicing virtually since 2016 now, when I left my corporate job after design school working in the furniture industry. I worked my way up from salesperson to managing multi-million-dollar showroom locations for high-end furniture store in my early 20s. And my degree was in interior design. My passion has always been interior design, not managing grown adults at a commission-based store, like not giving up my weekends every single weekend to try and go make sales. I did not love it. I didn't for a very long time. So when e-design presented itself and these larger e-design companies were out there, and when they first started, they were great. I actually won a lot of projects, enough that I was able to leave that corporate job in meatpacking district where I was working at the time and leave. And then we started a family. So, like, not because we had money, by the way, like I was very much at that point, but because like it happened and we were in a position where I could now work from home and take these design projects and raise our daughter while my husband was working in the city, and then move anywhere after that. In that format, like I was privileged to be able to use these virtual design companies that have pretty much all since gone under because they forgot one important thing. You got to treat your designers with respect and you got to fucking pay them. You cannot offer unlimited revisions on something that already cost $300 for a design. Hello, like these people that you're marketing to are going to take you up on that because we know that client, right? Like we know it. And that kind of relates to the client that would be like, oh, I don't need a designer. I'm going to use AI. Okay, first of all, good luck. We've already talked about that here. But I'm going to get into it a little bit more. But also like these companies, like they would attract a certain type of client. In the beginning, they were not. Like, I swear, like I had great clients and I did not have a ton of revisions. Yes, I was working for pennies, but like it felt better. And then they sold out and it was all about the commissions and making the money and the furniture sales and the retail and all of this stuff. And it was just the demise of them because they looked for cutting out the designers and only going to where the profits were. And you can't run a functional design business, virtual or in person, without taking care of the people that are designing. So that did not go well for them. For the most part, I think you guys have read Business of Home and know about these e-design companies. Yet here they are still trying to pop up and do other things, but we're going to see some probably come back out with this e-design stuff with the AI infused. I already see one right now that I have on my radar that I'm like, man, you could have been great. You could have helped designers. And here you are. Here you are, totally screwing us with your technology. It sucks. But let's talk about some of the questions that I get both from professionals and just like that I see online where it's like, hey, can I do this? So let's be real about it. Like, what can you do right now? And what probably can you do pretty soon? What could be detrimental to our industry if it gets to homeowners and skips over us as professionals? So thanks, ChatGPT, for crowdsourcing some of these things so that I could have them all in one spot. But I basically said, what do people think that AI can do right now in the world of AI, in the world of interior design that it just can't do? And the first thing is AI can fully design a space from scratch, is what some people think. No, it doesn't understand spatial design. It doesn't understand scale. It doesn't. You can create pretty pictures using Visual Electric, Midjourney, generative AI, but right now you can't buy any of those things, right? And also like they're not to scale and the majority of them are not using unless if you're using Stable Diffusion based programs, they're not using your before picture. There's staging programs out there where like, you can stage empty rooms and you can get like all these different styles and it can put furniture in there. And unfortunately, the one that I'm talking about also now does that virtual staging thing. And it is shoppable with retail sites, which just, God, like you could have helped us. You could have built a technology for the struggling manufacturers right now that are almost like being forced to either sell or go under or forced to sell direct to consumer when they never did that before and they don't want to, but in order to stay afloat, they kind of have to, right? You could have created these technologies for us to use these brand manufacturers and for us to be able to use the technology to create and curate custom products that then go into this virtual staging room where we have more control over it versus your crappy farmhouse style that you select and then it's exactly what you would think it would be. But why not us? Why not the brands? Why not the manufacturers? Why are we not getting their products into these, I'm not looking for obviously the larger programs, but I'm looking for these smaller programs that have already started to harness this technology of virtual staging and then being able to click through it. Why not us? Why can't we have that? Why does this go to retail? Come on, this is going to hurt us when it gets bigger. Okay. So while right now AI cannot fully design something from scratch because of the restrictions with spatial planning, with the actual furniture selections that you're going to get in the majority of these generative AI programs being lookalike products or just purely conceptual ideas that you can't reverse image search and go and actually find. You can find something probably that looks like it, but never the exact product. So why are we doing this? Why are these companies making this? I think we all know there's just more money in retail and there's more slice of the pie for them to make more money, but screw everybody else in the meantime, right? Okay, so here's another thing. AI can take a single image and turn it into a 3D model. Yes, we can actually. We can do this. This is something that I've been kind of teasing out. The beta just released. I will have info for you as soon as possible on that. And you can do that. You can turn 1 to 3 pictures of a product into a downloadable 3D model that you can use in your renderings. I do it now. Now, we're just getting started. Okay. So yes, you can scale. Yes, you can get different colors and stuff like that, but there's definitely limitations. Okay. We are brand new. We literally just got out of beta with something that is functional. And I have been testing and checking and looking for this now since AI came out. When ChatGPT lied to me the first time and said, oh yeah, I can do that. And it could not do that. And we now have the technology to do that. So very exciting, but that is the kind of technology that we need in this industry. We need tools to better our process and cut down on the monotonous building of 3D models that, again, manufacturers should have been doing for us anyway, so we could sell your product. But we are the ones now that can streamline that process and offer more of a immersive experience with the VR and the AR and all the things, right? So these are things and these are technologies that when I'm looking for software and tools, I'm looking for companies that don't want to go to consumer. They want to go B2B and they truly want to build programs that are helpful to our industry because they understand that we need them, we can use them. And if they build something that's counterintuitive for that, would they feel good about it? I guess I just try and find developers that have a conscience when I'm looking for tools, that's just my take on it. I don't know. I just try and find places that aren't that aren't talking out both sides of their mouth, where they're talking to the homeowners and they're also talking to the designers and they're oh yeah, this is so helpful for both. No, eventually one of us has to go, and I know where more money is, right? Okay, AI understands my style perfectly. Here's the thing. You can take ideas in pictures and upload them into ChatGPT and be describe this design style for me. Give me the words for it. It can do that. But interpreting that style into a collection of individual pieces that work harmoniously together, that takes a true professional. That is not something that a computer can do. Okay. You can, of course, get retail suggestions, but okay. I mean, just go shop a catalog magazine. It's the same difference, right? So if you want a fully curated, I love every piece uniquely and individually and how they all work together in my home because they're special and meaningful to me and embody this unique curation of style and overall aesthetic that you want for your home. Only a professional can do that. And I don't see that changing ever. Yes, we're going to get fine-tuned algorithms. We're going to be able to really hone in. We're going to see some crazy technology, but there's they're not human, and that we will never be replaced by that. Even if it's a robot, even if it's a Rosie in your house from the Jetsons, she can clean your mess, but I highly doubt that she's going to go to the store and select a sofa for you or an accent chair that's going to work perfectly. Furniture pieces. Okay, so AI can pick the perfect furniture pieces for and accessories for my space. Even with this technology that I was just talking about, where like you can virtually stage and then apparently go shop with retail for these things, the designs were weird. I did test it out. They made no spatial sense for the most part. There's like one or two that it was like, okay, that could work. But then it's still like, you got to go measure. Is that sofa actually accurate? And, reading it and putting it in the right spot, or do we need to start over? Like, it's just, there's such a disconnect between a two-dimensional image and real life spatial design and functionality. So yeah, they're going to get better. Yeah, this technology is going to improve, but we live in the world. That's just the main differentiator. Like, you can plan and you can look and you can do all these things, but then like 3 dimensions is very different than the internet with AI, or not the internet, but AI, right? Okay, it can stage furniture, it can get everything in there virtually. Like, yes and no. They're so generic looking too. Like if you ever use any of these virtual staging things, I guess it's fine if you're trying to figure out like generally where you might be able to place things, but it's so just like, I don't know, Ashley Home Catalog, right? Like it just is like, you want farmhouse? Here's all the farmhouse. There's no personality, in my opinion, to any of those things. It's just very like, here's textbook, Art Deco style, and we're going to put it in here. Because the programs were not built by designers, they were built by developers and engineers that don't know the first thing about an actual style composition. They find stuff on the internet and they're like, yeah, that one's contemporary. It just grinds my gears, guys. And I hope that you're as fired up about this topic as I am, because I'm gonna need your help. Like, I can't be the only one out here being like, that's wrong. Like, you can't be doing that, or stop asking for that if you really don't want it to get into the right hands. Like, find another solution that won't be detrimental to everybody in this industry and yourself in the future. It scares me a little bit with the things people ask for. Okay, AI can give me the exact wall color that will look perfect in my lighting. God, no. Absolutely not. So one of these viral reels that I had last year was me showing my wallpaper using like a picture in ChatGPT, the voice thing where I was chatting with her, and I was like, select some Sherwin-Williams paint colors that will go with this. And yeah, it definitely gave me a list of Sherwin-Williams paint colors, and they were in the ballpark, but they did not work in this house. They didn't work with the lighting. They were just off. However, they got me in the ballpark in my deck to like, yeah, this shade would actually work, and I was close. But lighting, like, we know as professionals that like if you were to go and just take this as a homeowner and be like, I'm going to use ChatGPT to select my paint color today, or one of these other apps that are out there, that if you were to do that, select a paint color, go buy that paint at the store, you are most likely going to put it on your wall and be like, my gosh, that does not work in here. Buy a sample, right? Do the samples just before you confirm if that's going to be your MO there. But it's probably not the first one. You still need a professional to be like, okay, well, when it's in, the morning sun, and then when we have the afternoon time, like, let's look at the shades in different time of day. Let's make sure this is the right color. Let's see other options that could also potentially work. Is it working with that? Is it working with this? Have we considered everything in the visual space and not just this tiny little picture that we uploaded and said, give me paint colors? There's so much more that goes into this that we know as professionals, but developers and builders of technology that are not doing this as a profession, they don't know. So they're giving these half-assed tools to homeowners, and for some of them, fine, right? For the Susie homemaker, awesome. You now have technology that makes you feel like a professional designer. But for us, we need tools that actually help with professional things. Like, we can't just go build a floor plan using ChatGPT and these other programs. Not legitimately, not something that you could turn in and actually build from. We do these construction documents and elevations and scaled drawings to fractions of inches so that we can get the accuracy and build something in the real world. Okay. This is just not a capability right now. Now, is it going to be in a year? Are we going to be talking about this in a year? And we're going to be like, guys, look at this thing that came out. Like, this is concerning. What should we do about this? How can we band together and be like, can we have this? Can you stop giving this to people that don't need this technology and should really have a professional? Man, it's so much. It's coming very fast. It's developing quickly, and it's like whack-a-mole where it's like, here's one, and is that one going to get acquired by a larger company that also has no soul and is here to make the most profit and cut out an entire industry of people? Like, man, I don't know. There's a lot of things obviously right now that AI can't do. The majority of things, I think, is safe to say. Like, you can piece together inspiration and then shopping stuff and reverse image search and whatever that might be. But we're still exactly where we were a year ago with this technology. It's not feasible for the three-dimensional world. It does not come off the paper well in scale, in color, and accuracy. However, it's only a matter of time before it does. And hopefully, if you're listening to this podcast, you will be an advocate for looking for tools that and their flaws and potential that could be detrimental. Okay. So always try and push for the right kind of technology that helps us, not the overall consumer, because if it gets sold enough times, we get cut out. Okay. So what can we do? What can we do to make sure that we're still keeping up and up with AI technology, but we're looking for the things that help us? I would say if you're looking at all these apps, first of all, if it's an app, probably not a professional tool. If it's an app on your phone, it was probably not made for a professional unless if there's a desktop version. I get this question all the time. What apps do you use? I don't use any apps. I don't use apps. Like, apps are smaller versions of the actual professional software that you use on a computer. And maybe I'm just a millennial that wants to do everything from my desktop. I don't make big purchases on my phone. I do them on my computer. Apps are ridiculous in the most part when it comes to like professional software. Unless if they build out all the same features that you have on your computer on the app, you're getting a limited version for mobile. Okay. So there's nothing there besides like Canva and then Mydoma's app, not the visualizer. That you can't do the visualizer on your phone because you need a computer. But I can use all Mydoma's features, just do design boards, all that stuff through the app. So there's limited things that I will do, but these are professional tools. Okay. Like the apps that are virtual staging, upload your picture, they're just for fun. And that's what those are for. Now, when they start to build apps that are not just for fun, that also take away from us, that's something we need to be looking out for, right? When they become really shoppable and accurate. Okay. So be on the lookout for those types of things. But also remember that, like, as with e-design, there is always a client that sees your value, that sees or has like no interest in AI at all. Like, I talk about it every day. We see it every day, but like there's a good majority of people that just are like, yeah, I'm going to hire a person. Like, why would I hire a computer? That's just silly for all the reasons that I gave today. They see the value in human to human design and understanding and professional understanding. So why would they go to an app that doesn't do that? And that kind of equates to this type of e-design client, right? Those same people that were spending $299 or $199 there towards the end for a full design of a room with unlimited revisions, those people are going to AI. And those people are reverse image searching your design boards and cutting you out of your affiliate commissions and running your design boards through these programs, trying to get the look that you created for their own home, which, by the way, they can't do. Like, they can get it, but it's not scaled or accurate or anything. But those are also things that we need to worry about. Which of these apps are taking your stuff? Which homeowners are taking your work and saying, I want this look, now go get it for me, and then sourcing all those things. Yeah, it's been around for a while with Google reverse image search, but I worry about the copyright and some of these other companies taking them and then selling product from your work. It's been done. It is being done right now. So what can we do to protect ourselves? I mean, that is almost more like the technology is coming. How can we brace for it? Maybe should be the topic of this episode, not like what can AI not do? How can you protect yourself? And I wish I had the answers, but I don't. And yeah, I mean, I'm guarded with everything that I put on the internet because there's not much we can do right now to protect ourselves. And I hate to be negative at all about this, but like I am just cautious about the technology that's coming out. And I just want to be real about that because as much as I love it, there's also things that very much worry me and will take years to get here and really infiltrate our industry. But it's going to be a bumpy few years. It definitely is as these programs start to develop and as we see how all this plays out. So don't want to be doom and gloom and doom or whatever today, but I think we just need to be real about like, yeah, obviously it's concerning, but also it's exciting. So there's a fine line, and being ethical with yourself and your boundaries and realistic about how these tools and technologies could potentially harm us, and just being careful what we ask for. I think that is all we can really do right now, and just warn each other when we do see things that we're like, that doesn't feel right. I don't see that one going well. Or, this is a really cool technology that could actually help you as a professional. Let's share those things. So that's it for me today. Okay. I will not be releasing an episode next week. I will be at KBiz next week. And I know I've been talking about it for a while. I literally have no comment because I travel all the time. Like, oh yeah, I won't be doing an episode next time, but that was like 2 weeks ago, and it'll actually be next week. So hope to see you guys at KBiz. Please like, follow, comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening to the podcast. I always forget to tell you to do that. And I guess that works to remind people, because when somebody tells me on Instagram, hey, go follow me or else you'll never see me in your scroll again, I do that because I do like that person. I want to see him again. So hopefully you'll remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bells, do all the things. And I will see you next time. All right. Have a good one. Bye. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.